Hello everyone, welcome to my class. In previous lecture, we have learned how to get user and group information using the related library functions. Also, we have learned the encrypted password is stored in the shadow password file. Linux systems require user authentication, which typically takes the form of a username and password. That is to say, Linux systems validate a username and password, allow the validated user to enter the systems. Today, I'm going to talk about password encryption and user authentication for Linux. I'm describing the concept and procedure of password authentication step by step. First, a user types the username and password to authenticate. To authenticate the user, Linux systems encrypt the password using crypt function. The crypt function creates the encrypted password using data encryption standard algorithm. That is to say, DES algorithm. Linux systems matches the encrypted password and the corresponding password. Encrypted password is coming from the crypt function. The corresponding password is stored in the shadow password file. If the password matches, the user is validated, and then the user can do something in the Linux systems as the authenticated user. Until now, we have learned the concept of overall procedure of password authentication on Linux. Now, let's make a program authenticating a user. Consider a user types the username. So, the program accepts the username using sysconf function, malloc function, fgetString function, and then gets the user's information from the password structure using getPasswordName function, getShadowPasswordName function. The user types the password. The program reads the user's password using getpass function. The program created the encrypted password by using crypt function. The program checks whether the encrypted password matches the corresponding password recorded in the shadow password file. At this point, the program uses the string compare function for the matching. If the password matches, the ID of the user is displayed as a result. At this point, we will use the printf function to print out the result. Okay, until now, we have learned the structure and procedure of the program authenticating a user. This program consists of several useful functions, such as system sysconfig function, malloc function, fgetString function to get the username, getPasswordName function, and getShadowPasswordName function to get the structure, password, and spwd. getPassword function to get the user's password, crypt function to encrypt the typed password, string compare function to compare between the encrypted password returned from the crypt function as the corresponding password from the shadow password file, printf function to print out the result. In conclusion, we have to know various functions I mentioned. So, I will describe the functions one by one. Sysconfig functions. The program has to accept the maximum size of the username within Linux system limit. So we have to use the sysconf function to get configuration information at runtime. Sysconfig function has one argument, name. If the name is sc login name max, that means the maximum size of the user on the host system. Sysconf function returns the current value of the option or limit. On error, -1 is returned. Next is malloc function. The program has to allocate the maximum size of the user into the memory. So we have to use the malloc function to allocate the size into the dynamic memory. Malloc function has one argument named size. It allocates size and returns a pointer to the allocated memory. On error, returns null. Next is fgetString function. The program has to get the username from the standard input. So we have to use the fgetString function to get a string from a stream. fgetString function has three arguments, s, n, stream. It reads bytes from stream into the array pointed to by s until n-1 byte are read, or a new line is read and transferred to s, or an end of file condition is encountered. The string is then terminated with a null byte. It returns s. If the stream is at end of file, returns a null pointer. Next is getPass function. The program has to read the user's password from the terminal. So we have to use the getPass function to get a password. getPass function has one argument, prompt. It opens div/tty, output the string prompt, turns off echoing, reads one line, restores the terminal state, and closes div/tty again. It returns a pointer to static buffer containing the password without the trailing new line, terminated by a null byte. Next is crypt function. The program has to encrypt the user's password from the terminal. So we have to use the crypt function to encrypt a password. Crypt function has two arguments, key and sort. Key means a user's typed password, up to 8 characters. Sort means 2-character string chosen from the set small a to z, large A to Z, 0 to 9 point slash. Sort is used to make more difficult to crack the encrypted password. The encrypted candidate password can be used as the sort. Crypt function returns a pointer to the encrypted password that is statically allocated certain printable ASCII character. Next is string compare function. The program has to compare the encrypted password and the corresponding password. So we have to use the string compare function to compare two strings. String compare function has two arguments, s1 and s2. It compares the two strings s1 and s2. It returns an integer indicating the result of comparisons. 0 if s1 and s2 are equal, a negative value if s1 is less than s2, a positive value if s1 is greater than s2. Until now, we have learned the concept of method, password encryption, and user authentication on Linux. In addition, we have learned how to use various functions related to password authentication. Okay, that's it. Have a nice day and see you.